This is a 69 News special report.
Good evening, I'm Wendy Davis.
And I'm Rob Vaughn. And we will be joining Family Feud in progress in just a few short minutes. But first, a quick check on the election. The polls closed an hour ago, and the data started flowing into the 69 newsroom. So we want to show you some early returns right now, and you can access the numbers in literally hundreds of races anytime you want to at WFMZ.com.
That's right. Let's look at the latest returns as they've tabulated here at WFMZ TV. We're looking at the Easton mayor now. Democrats, just one of the precincts reporting so far, just 7%, but you can see Michael Fleck out to a lead there with 55% of the vote over Sal Panto.
Right, that's one of the big races tonight, of course, Easton mayor. We're electing local officials all over the area, and we'll take a look at Easton City Council here in just a moment and see where that is stacking up as we elect officials in Easton, Allentown, Bethlehem, and most of the communities where you live today. You probably had a local municipal election. Easton City Council Republicans, just one precinct reporting, and Ruggles, Timman and Milan in the lead so far as they vote for 3 candidates out of this field of 4 for the Easton City Council Republicans.
All right, let's take a look at the Democrats now for Easton City Council. Once again, voting for 3. Just 7% of the votes in at this point, but you can see Brown out to a slight lead right now over Warren. Lone and Warner, a tight race there, but still very early.
And we'll zip west to Allentown and see how the city council race is looking in Allentown tonight as we tally up the numbers here at 69 News. Here's how the Democratic field looks so far. 5% of the precincts in, and Eichenwald has moved out into the lead. That's a vote for 3 situation. Michael Donovan second, Peter Schweier third so far in Allentown.
Now we're looking at Bethlehem Council now, voting for 3. Donchez right now out to the lead. We got 10% in there over Reynolds and Maurer and Zabo and Grubb there. And you got Heckman and Arclay as well, a large field. But once again, you are voting for 3 in this one for Bethlehem Council as well.
A lot of candidates. And in almost all the areas we covered today, if you were voting, you saw this and had a chance to vote on Act 1 in your particular school district. This is the tally so far in the Allentown School District. Again, it's in the early going, and no has jumped into the lead. That's 57% no to 43% yes. The question, of course, whether to add an earned income tax so that can offset property taxes, so they can reduce property taxes a bit. Act 1.
That's right, folks. Bethlehem Area School District voting for the exact same thing, and we're seeing the same results. No jumping out to the lead here as well, more than doubling the yes votes at this point.
And some pundits thought this might be the case. There was a lot of campaigning against Act 1 in a number of areas. Here's how it's looking so far in Easton, and same story, 60% to 40%. No is out in front in the Easton Area School District, so a lot of voters apparently not convinced that this change is the best way to go about it.
Right. All right, now we're going to jump to Lehigh County. We're going to take a look at the commissioner at large. Right now you're voting for 4. You can see Andy Roman right now out to the lead. He is the incumbent in this race. You have Dean Browning, Barry Halper, and Brent Lobenberg all trying to get into the commissioner's race as well. And once again, you're voting for 4 here for the Republican side.
All right, and we're still in the early going, but we'll be keeping those numbers running along the bottom for you all evening long. As we switch now to Northampton County, the County Council District 3, you have Lamont McClure against Willpower. So far, McClure has jumped out into a sizable lead with 3 out of those 37 precincts reporting. They were District 3.
All right, we're going to take a look at District 4 there in Northampton County Council as well. You are looking at those numbers right now. John Mayer out to the lead here with about 2/3 of the votes so far, even though there's only 12% of the votes in at this point. But John Mayer out to the lead over William Hall, the 3rd at this point.
One of the races getting a lot of attention outside of Philadelphia. It's a Philadelphia race, but a lot of people are talking about it. It's Philadelphia mayor. We have 5 candidates, 5 major candidates running for the Democratic nomination in Philadelphia to try to replace John Street. And here's how it's looking so far with 4% of the precincts reporting. Tom Knox moves into the lead. Congressman Bob Brady second. Michael Nutter from City Council third. Chaka Fattah fourth. And Dwight Evans, you can see there, bringing up the rear at this point. The latest polling, Nutter was actually leading going into Election Day. And again, we're very early in the race in Philadelphia, so we'll see how that goes.
All right, and we are going to be back with another update, a brief update at 9:30.
Right, and remember, you can see all the numbers across the bottom of your screen, and you can access the 400-plus races that we are covering anytime at WFMZ.com. Full reports on all this at 10 and 10:30 as well. Take a look at a couple of
That's right.
Berks County numbers before we go.
That's right. Another big race, of course, is the race for mayor in Reading. And you have Tom McMahon, the current mayor, out there jumping out to the lead over Angel Figueroa, a council name that a lot of folks, of course, know in the city. He's there with a strong second place, tied with Dennis Moyer there as well, and Vaughn Spencer, another Reading City Council person, and a popular name in Reading, also trying for the Democratic nomination as for the mayor.
And for the county commissioners, Democratic nomination, Schwank and Gajewski are the incumbents. They're already on the commission, and they are out in the lead at this point, as you can see right here, with challengers Kevin Barnhart in third and David Batdorf in fourth.
All right, we're looking at the Berks County Judge of Common Pleas now. This is the Democrats. They're going to pick one, Ronald Stanko, right now, with a slight lead over Tim Rowley there, with 2% of the precincts reporting.
We'll take a look at one more race before we go for Berks County and see how it's going on the... what do we have after we go to Common Pleas, Judge? We're going to move on to one more, and here come the numbers. Here we go. What we're looking at the Republican is the two candidates, because the judges typically cross file. So what happens here is Stanko is in front. Of course, I guess if someone were to take both the Republican Democratic races, they can seal up that judgeship.
Exactly. And once again, we'll be back with an update at 9:30, and then we'll have full reports during the news at 10 and 10:30 tonight.
So as promised, to Family Feud, we'll see you again at 9:30 and 10.
This is a 69 News special report.
And good evening once again. I'm Wendy Davis.
And I'm Rob Vaughn, and welcome to a brief Election Central update. The polls are closed an hour and a half. We want to get you some of the latest figures. Be back to our regular programming. Full report coming up at 10. Let's check the numbers.
That's right. We're taking a look right now at the Berks County Judge of Common Pleas. This is for the Republicans. You vote for one. You can see that Ronald Stanko is in the lead at this point with just a few votes right now over Tim Rowley on the Republican side.
We will check other races. Just getting you started with one set of numbers right there. We're going to take a look at Easton in a second. And, of course, as you can observe for yourself, numbers are scrolling across the bottom of your screen and will be all evening long. So you can keep up to date with a lot of other races that we're not even mentioning right here.
All right, now we're taking a look at the Easton Mayor vote for one right now. As you can see, Michael Fleck over Sal Panto right now, but a very close race at this point.
Republican race for City Council in Easton as they select three council members, three nominees, Ruggles, Milan, and Timman in the early lead. And we're actually almost to 50% of the precincts tabulated in Easton at this point. City Council Republicans.
And we're going to take a look at the Democrats coming up next here. And the second, we'll look at the Democrats for Easton City Council. As here they come, as Rob mentioned. Precincts reporting at this point almost half. You can see Ken Brown out to the lead over Nadine Lone, Jeff Warren, and Eleanor Warner. Over to Allentown now. We'll take a look at the Democratic race for council in Allentown. Three selections, and Eichenwald's in the lead over Michael Donovan and Peter Schweier at this point. Just 21% of the precincts are reported here. You see how it's going the first five, and they're selecting three there for the Democratic nominations. All right, let's take a look at Bethlehem Council right now. The Democrats, we have 35% of the precincts reporting. You can see Robert Donchez, the incumbent there, out to the good lead right now over J. William Reynolds, Gordon Maurer, and Ron Heckman. However, you are voting for three in that one as well. All right, Bethlehem City Council, as we take a look at Lehigh County races, that is county-wide races. We have commissioners' races as well as the municipal races that, as you know, if you voted today, many of you, I could take a chance and say, did not vote today because we know the turnout numbers were rather light, 20% at best probably, and in many places even less than that. And Lehigh County is one of the races for commissioners, and we'll take a look at the commissioner-at-large race right here. The Republican race, and they're selecting four different nominees: Browning, Roman, Halper, and Reese so far in those four positions for the Republicans, the top four. And that would be 16% of the precincts reporting from Lehigh County as we tabulate them here at Election Central. All right, we're going to move over to Northampton County next. We're going to take a look at the council district, take a look at the 3rd District Democrats coming up next. That will be the next board we have for you. There it is. Okay, you're going to choose one here. You can see 41% reporting, and Lamont McClure Jr. right now, who's the incumbent in that race, with 78% over Will Power, out to a really strong lead in that race for the Council District 3.
And we'll switch to District 4 in a moment and see how that one's going as Northampton County voters in District 4 select a Democratic nominee. And we're going to... Well, numbers are coming up in a second. Be patient. And you see all the numbers you could ever want to see across the bottom of the screen. And we'll keep you up to date on those as the evening goes along. A couple of hundred different races, actually, you'll be seeing across the bottom, and 400 or more on our website, WFMZ.com.
All right, and we're going to leave you now. We'll be back at 10 with full election coverage.